Advocate, I'm Steve. This is Ryno. The transfer window has closed, and it's got Manchester United fans around the world feeling some kind of way.
Some kind of way.
Ryno, what's your overall, Ryno, on the transfer window?
Well, it's strange. I'm sort of disappointed, but I'm also optimistic. And it's a weird feeling because, we were told for months and months and months that, a certain player from Dortmund was coming. And then on the last day of the transfer window, that player never materialized.
He materialized, just not in Manchester.
Well, he went back to Dortmund.
Yeah.
So, but looking at some of the youth talent that we did sign and some of the things people are saying about them, I feel good about that. It's just, I would not call it a successful window.
Right. We know that Ollie's not really been backed to the fullest extent. But we did add some players that add some depth, so that is at least something.
Right, because going into the window, Ollie wanted Jadon Sancho, Jack Grealish, and a commanding center back. And he got none of those things.
Nope. And go ahead.
But Van de Beek, I feel like, is at least comparable to Grealish, if not Premier League proven. So that's a plus. But the other two things I think were vitally important, and we didn't get either of those. And we potentially saw the best of the rest center back leave the club.
Right.
In Chris Smalling.
Right. Bye-bye, Papa Smalling. And I was hesitant to even add Van de Beek into this show because we've already seen him play. Like, it seems like we signed him last season the way this transfer window has been. So that being said, we're focusing on the last four signings for this show. Let's talk about the first one. Let me pull him up here. Let's talk about Edinson Cavani. So we have signed Edinson Cavani. Ryno, what's your take?
Edinson Cavani was a player I wanted 5 years ago. So to get him now, again, it's sort of bittersweet. Because, yeah, he was great, but now he's 2 years younger than me. And I'm too old to play football anymore.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I feel like we definitely needed some depth up top. Obviously.
Right.
But, I mean, he's 33. We've got him for a year.
2 years.
I feel like, did you say 2 years?
2 years.
I feel like there is a lot of potential for this to be a flop signing. Not because of necessarily the player, but like we've done this before. We've seen this episode.
With the Schweinsteigers and the Falcaos.
The Falcaos, yeah, absolutely.
And granted, I think he's a little better than that. And he honestly, now he has something to prove.
That's true.
Because PSG did not treat him very well towards the end of his career.
Right.
So coming into the team that's going to be playing against PSG, and there's already sort of a rivalry because of the last matchup, the way we knocked them out of the Champions League, and then we celebrated it like we won the damn thing.
Yeah.
Only to get put out in the next round by Barcelona.
Right.
But so I feel like there is a lot of upside here, potentially. But again, it's all potential.
Right.
And he's old, so there's no future. It's just a stopgap measure until we need somebody else. But on the other side of that, he didn't cost much.
Right.
Whatever his agent fees were and his salary.
Right. I'll tell you what gets me about Cavani. I was watching a lot of highlights over the last few days, and there is no doubt that he is a good striker. But there is something I specifically noticed, and that is that Cavani is a great striker when quality players feed him the ball.
Right, but I mean, again, you could say that about just about every striker. If you don't get the ball, if you don't get service, you're not going to score goals. Like, look at Martial.
Right.
Martial's one of the most important players in the team, and some games he just goes missing because we can't get the ball from back to front quick enough to feed it to him.
Right, and that's my concern. Like,
but that would have been a concern with any striker we brought in.
Right. I didn't see him creating a lot on his own. And plus, again, you're right about it being any striker, but then we go into what if he's not getting fed the ball and everybody's on his ass like they are on Pogba, and then he just drops his head, does his 1.5 2 year circuit, and then that's just a flop. So I just hope that we could get the quality into him because he's good when he gets the ball. I've watched him make some fantastic movement. I've watched him play the ball in really well.
And I think, looking at Tellez coming in, that's kind of his bread and butter, is getting the ball into the middle.
Right.
So, that was, I don't know if we want to transition into that, if we want to keep talking about Cavani, or we can, kind of link the two together and how we think they'll play if they play together.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a pivotal thing is Washington. And we can move right on in there because I think really there's nothing else other than obviously we're going to back him. We want Cavani to do well, but time will tell if we can give him the ball because we can't seem to do that with Martial most of the time. But yeah, let's move on. Let's talk about Tellez. What do you think about Tellez?
Honestly, before this transfer window, I had no idea who he was. Never heard of him. Not a huge follower of the Portuguese league. I can't say that I knew much about Bruno Fernandes either, although I did watch him play the internationals and he was good.
Right.
So I'm excited about it, and from what I can tell, he is an attacking left back.
Yeah.
I've got who scored up. His strengths, crossing, key passes, set pieces, very strong.
Yeah.
Holding onto the ball, aerial duels, strong. Now the weaknesses column, and this is not something you necessarily want from your left back. One of his weaknesses is tackling. So,
but that being said, you could say that's the weakness of all of our left backs right now.
Or you could say that's the weakness of our defense, outside of maybe Wan-Bissaka.
Right, and even he's not been in great form lately.
Right, but he's overplayed.
Right. But yeah, I watched some highlights of Tellez as well. Real aggressive, very attacking, good. He makes good choices. He makes good passes, and that's. What do you think about Luke Shaw right now? Do you think Luke Shaw is going to be completely replaced? What do you think?
Oh no, I don't think he's going to be replaced at all. I think what we're working towards is having real competition for places.
Yeah.
At every position, and I think that's why you sign a player like Tellez, is to push Luke Shaw.
Yeah.
But the scary part of Tellez is that it gives Ollie the ability to move Luke Shaw to left-sided center back in a back three.
Right.
And then you get into that weird system. So now we've got the potential with all these midfielders to play the 3-5-2.
Which winds up just being a 5-man defensive line and the most boring football United has ever played.
But again, now you've got somebody like Tellez on the wing.
It's true.
So
but knowing that Wan-Bissaka is not as good on the right, then they can just kind of shut down that left lane.
Right, and again, that's where you would need your right-sided forward to kind of help with that.
Right.
Which again, that kind of moves us into some of these other signings. Apparently that's what this kid from Atalanta, Traore, is really good at.
Yeah.
It's kind of being a creative playmaker off the right, but he's 18?
Yeah, oh yeah. They're both 18, and I think, is it Pellistri that's about to turn 19? Yeah, he's about to turn 19 in December.
Right. I mean, kudos to them for bolstering kind of that in-between in the right wing for that position, because we haven't had a true right winger in years.
Oh, yeah.
And there's not a lot coming through. But again, neither one of those guys are coming in to fill the first-team hole. And that's still sort of the problem, is that we didn't address the now. We've got the future kind of locked in, but we need the now.
Right. And right now,
Mason Greenwood's still a good option.
He is. So I gotta say with Tellez, I feel like Luke Shaw's been pretty abysmal lately. I feel like Tellez almost gets dropped in on top, like ahead of Luke Shaw. But at the same time, I think you bring up a valid point of us probably going back to that terrible formation with 3 center backs essentially.
But again, remember when we played that? Like the last game we played that was the semi cup or the semifinal in the FA Cup against Chelsea. and we had to play Brandon Williams on the left,
Yeah, right.
and he can't attack.
No.
He's right-footed. He cuts in, so
Yeah.
that takes away a whole lot of your attacking option down the left side.
Yeah.
And it makes it really easy to defend against
Yeah.
because he's not crossing the ball in.
No, he's not.
He's going to try to underlap under the forward, and that's just it's not a good. There's no dynamism there for your attack.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you? How do you feel about it? Because we kind of talked about Cavani. How do you feel about Tellez overall? You feel pretty good about getting him?
For the price we got him at, yeah, I think it was a good move.
Yeah, I think I feel better about Tellez than I do Cavani. Obviously, we're going to support everyone that comes in, but I feel better about Tellez.
And again, this window, it's not defined by the players we got so much as the ones we didn't.
Yeah, and that's
everybody
sad.
we got is good, but we didn't get the players that we needed. These would have been the icing on the cake. We didn't sign the cake.
Yeah, the cake's gone bad.
Right, cake is a lie.
The cake is a lie. All right, let's go into our two very young players that we've signed.
Okay.
And right, oh man, that green screen popped up real big there. So tell me what you think about Facundo Pellistri and Ahmed Traore, Ryno. What do you think?
I won't lie to you. I know almost nothing about these players.
No, they're kids.
Until we signed Pellistri, I'd never heard of him.
Yeah.
Granted, I'd never heard of Traore either, but at least he has some. There's some highlight films, some footage of him playing, and from what I can tell, he's the real deal at his age level. So I don't fault them for signing this player.
Yeah.
And that's sort of where my optimism comment came in, because he looks like he's going to be good, but who knows in the Premier League coming from, Atalanta's B team,
right,
playing U19s or whatever, to the Premier League's a big step up.
Right.
So and it's really strange that the main part of this deal I don't understand is the fact that he's not coming until January.
Yeah, no, I don't get that.
Why? I haven't found an explanation for that yet.
Mm-hmm. You let us know in the comments if you know why he's not going to be here until January. Maybe it's just something weird. Maybe he's got obligations to play.
It's possible.
I feel like I think they're good investments. My fear is I don't think either one of them slot directly into our first team, but I'm afraid after Dan James, I'm afraid that we might try that. What do you think about them in the first team?
He has plans for Pellistri.
What's that?
So Ollie's already said he has first team plans for Pellistri, so that's coming. Be ready.
Great. Yeah, I don't know, man, because I feel like that exact same thing. I think we could have gotten a lot more out of Dan James. I've said this during our live streams. We could have gotten a lot more out of Dan James, and we put way too much weight on his shoulder.
And again, I was expecting more from him, other than just being as fast as can be.
Right.
He doesn't shoot well. He doesn't cross well. He doesn't pass well. He's fast.
Yeah.
And, we could get into some, I guess, negatives about our coaching staff. It's like, why isn't he doing better? I thought you could develop young players, and I don't know that these guys can.
Right.
That's sad.
It is sad.
I probably would have cut my losses with James and sold him to Leeds.
Yeah, and I still don't understand why we haven't, honestly.
Fear.
Yeah.
They're worried that they're going to sell him to Leeds and he's going to be world class and they're going to come out with egg on their face. But he's not developing into that here. So now you're just going to miss out on money and you're going to waste his career.
Yeah, and not only that, but we've had egg on our face for the last 6 years. So
right.
It never left.
That's a living chicken coop.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's jump in. We'll talk about the outgoings. We've only got two. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Smalling is gone, and Sanchez.
Pereira went to...
Oh, Pereira went out on loan, yeah.
He go to Roma, Lazio. He went to Italy somewhere.
So it's fine. Somewhere
He's going to have a spaghetti,
That's the fact. That's a factual statement. So they're gone. A lot of people that should have been gone have not gone. We've still got 73 center backs that we could probably get rid of.
So here's a telling statistic for you about how this club is being run. Phil Jones will be eligible for a testimonial match next summer.
I can't wait. We will live stream that.
That would be amazing.
Oh my God.
Slap in the face to all the United fans giving Phil Jones.
Oh my God. And I hope it'll probably, like, maybe COVID will still be going on and they can fill the stands with cardboard cutouts of just different Phil Jones faces. Just there's nonstop Phil Jones faces across the board.
That would be.
That being said, let's end on, what do you think this transfer window means for Ollie?
Well, I don't think it was good for him personally, because he asked for things and didn't get any of it.
Right.
So now he has to go in and kind of be a miracle worker.
Yeah.
So if he pulls it off, I don't think he'll ever get sacked, no matter how bad he does.
Yeah.
Because he worked with nothing, and the board appreciates that.
Right.
I don't think it's going to work out well for him. Just my gut feeling.
Yeah, if the way this season has started has been any
Right.
indication, we have started so poorly. And pattern recognition is the lowest form of intelligence, and we've seen this with multiple other managers. He's been here for a couple of years now. Around Christmas time, if we're doing really bad, that's about the time they like to pull the string and eject the manager. It's going to be an interesting season. It's going to be a painful season, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, what can Ollie do? And who knows?
And it's, over his tenure here, he hasn't shown me the fact that he can develop young talent. And he hasn't shown me a lot of tactical nuance, except against the big clubs. But again, how hard is counterattacking football?
Right.
It doesn't require a lot of patterns of play. It's you get the ball, you go fast, and you score.
Yeah.
That's like the most basic tactic of football. And we don't necessarily have to be playing full tiki-taka, but something. Triangle passing, fast passing. Why is our tempo so low?
Yeah.
Like, how hard is it to say pass the ball faster?
Right.
And maybe I always tell them that, and this group of players just can't do it.
And it's like the last game we live streamed. You and I both noticed, like, how often in a game do we switch play?
Almost never.
You never see it. You never see us switch play. It's so hard to see any creativity. And that combined with now our defensive line is just falling apart.
Right.
So it's not looking great.
Maybe we don't switch play because there's nobody on the right that can play.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's a possibility. So maybe one of these kids can slot in and surprise us. And I mean, Greenwood's in there.
Greenwood
but again,
is
he's
there
too.
Yeah. But if we run Greenwood to death.
Right. And I think that Ollie's trying not to do that.
Yeah. And maybe he learned with James. I do think I know Cavani can't immediately go into play because he's got a quarantine apparently.
Right. Well, I've seen reports that he can and reports that he can't. And the most recent ones are that he can't. So
right on.
That leaves us real short for Newcastle.
Yeah, I don't know about Tellez. Is Tellez in the same boat? Is he playing, you think?
I think all of the players are going to be in that boat.
Right on.
Anybody that's not English. I'm not exactly sure how their rules work because it's different.
I'm afraid that the way it looks now, the way we've been playing, and Newcastle will either help or hurt, with us getting absolutely decimated, I'm really afraid of us going to that back three defensive players, essentially the 5-man back line.
Well, I mean, we could do that and then play, Rashford and Greenwood up front?
Yeah, theoretically.
I mean, is that better or worse than playing with Igalo?
Well, it's funny that you should mention that. In the last game, Igalo and James weren't even on the bench, so that kind of says something about Ollie's confidence in them. Our only attacking option on the bench in our last game was Jesse Lingard.
Right.
That was
we
it.
Both know how we feel about Jesse Lingard.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So even then, you never know. Any other last words of the transfer window, Ryno? What do you think? Anything else?
It was really disheartening the day after the transfer window to see that Jadon Sancho is still our top transfer target. Like he's ever going to come to United.
Yeah.
Because I know if I was put through that, I wouldn't.
Yeah, it feels like we burned the bridge with Dortmund. We burned the bridge with Sancho.
Right.
Because all reports, everyone was saying, this is a dream move. Sancho is hyped. He wants to do it. And for us to just not give the money, it's got to not only affect Dortmund, but it's got to affect Sancho. He's got to be like, well, screw these guys then.
Yeah, they knew how much I was worth. They knew what the price was. They told me all summer they wanted me.
Right.
And then at the last minute, like, nah, we're not going.
Yeah, we courted him for the longest time. It's bad business.
Right.
Absolutely bad.
It leaves a really bad taste in your mouth.
It does. It does. But we go on. We go again. That's all we can do. All right. I think that's it, man. It's like I said, it's going to be an interesting season. We just got to get behind the team and hope for the best and see what happens.
Maybe a long season.
It is going to be a long season. Batten down the hatches, friends. Feel free to join us Saturday the 17th on Twitch. We will be doing a watch-along versus Newcastle. Ryno and I do that every weekend that there is a game. Please give the video a like if you enjoyed it.
Hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, do all those things you're supposed to do. Smash that like button or whatever you got to do.
Just hit all the buttons.
Smash some button, whatever. Smash the X button if you don't like it. I don't know.
Thumbs down. We can leave that one alone.
Yeah, just whatever. Yeah, if you do like the video, hit the like button. Feel free to subscribe. Catch us over at Twitch. The links will be in the description. Ryno, thanks for being on, and we'll see you for another show next week sometime.
All right.
Take care, everybody.